Project Climate Change, Uncertainty and Transformation is funded by the Norwegian Research Council. The basic starting point of the project is that uncertainty and climate change are usually conceptualized by experts from above. So these are scientists, modelers, who have a different way of looking at climate change and uncertainty. It's an expert-driven understanding that tends to dominate policy debates and discussions. And our project wants to know more about what uncertainty and climate change looks like from the perspective of the below, that is, people who are at the forefront of climate change, who are living with climate change and living with climate change-related uncertainties. Specifically, we focus on 3 sites in India. We're focusing on drylands in Kutch, we focus on Mumbai, and we focus on the Sundarbans. The district of Kutch, it's been subject to massive transformations, especially since the earthquake of 2001. There's been aggressive industrialization that's been promoted, and this industrialization has interacted with all sorts of other changes, with climatic changes, with ecological uncertainties, causing and increasing the vulnerabilities of poor and marginalized people.
Kutch falls under drylands, and Kutch is known for its climatic vagaries. If you look at the earlier rainfall pattern, every 5 years or 3 years were drought, and 1 year we used to get normal rainfall, and 1 year we used to get above high rainfall. But during the last 1 or 2 decades, the rainfall pattern has changed.
Mangroves are nesting and breeding grounds for fish. So a lot of fish come into the creeks, and you have different kinds of fisher folks within Kutch. You have the foot fishers, which are called the pagadiyas. Then you have the small boat fishers, and then you have the trawlers. So here, communities that have been affected are basically the foot fishers, the pagadiyas, and the small boat fishers.
Next site, Mumbai. This is the maximum city. It's a coastal city. It's India's largest city. It's very unequal. It's got elites, it's got poor, it's got the traditional coolies.
Coolies are today facing an existential crisis in the very city of which they are the original inhabitants. They need to be seen from the perspective of how climate change, multiple uncertainties of economic nature, of political nature, of social nature are completely marginalizing them within this city.
And our research sites focus on coastal areas, low-lying areas that are flood-prone, that are on mangroves and on wetlands. Because of climate change uncertainties and other things, it's very difficult to control some of the ecological processes.
So in Bombay, there exists a lot of uncertainty around planning, and there exists a lot of uncertainty around climate change, when and how extreme weather events are going to strike. And the simple idea being is that uncertainty cannot be controlled.
Neoliberal growth, so much expansion on the wetlands that the natural drainage systems of the city don't exist anymore. And as a result of that, there are problems around persistent flooding.
In this narrative, what we see is that there is a tendency to put the blame on a particular section of the population, mostly the urban poor, whereas the problem of encroachment on rivers, on mangroves which protect the city from the floods, on various other water bodies which provide bonding effects. These are done both by the poor as well as the rich, by the middle classes as well as by commercial and industrial establishments.
The Sundarbans is globally known as a climate hotspot. Again, in the Sundarbans, uncertainty is a way of life. The local people are used to living with cyclones, with flooding, the embankments, they're used to high tides that wash their fields and lands.
Climate change is still an emerging area in the context of the Sundarbans. The scientists, decision makers, as well as the communities are uncertain about the climate change impacts on the life of the people.
Climate change poses new challenges for them. And all these issues have particular challenges for the local livelihoods, for fishers, for cultivators. There was a lot of out-migration, which has had a lot of gendered impacts, a lot of female-headed households, women left on their own to take care of the elderly and children, increasing prostitution to some extent as a livelihood option. So in our sites, we're looking at different ways. So we've been looking at key events that have triggered change. We're also asking in our project if it can be an opportunity for transformation. Now, transformation has become a buzzword recently, but I think we're interested in looking at transformation in a way in which we're talking about wider societal change, societal, cultural, economic change, which challenges the status quo, which reconfigures the meaning of development.